Great. Hello everyone, and thanks for watching this video. We wanted to do a quick update on all things Massey Shaw and give everyone a few updates around some of the events and activities we've been doing, some of the visitors we've had to the boat, and talk through some of our partnerships and some of the fundraising we've been doing as well, and obviously talk through some of the updates that have been happening over the last month or so. So to kick off, I'm going to hand over to David. He's going to talk through some of the events and activities that we've been at recently. Hopefully you've been to some of those. And we're also going to talk through some of the updates that are coming up in the next month or so as well. So over to you.
Okay, so we've certainly in the winter period now, we've had a fairly busy time with various events that we've had. The stable events for us are normally over the winter period involve visitors to the boat where we can. Obviously, as the weather changes, that improves as we get into spring, which we are now. But certainly, fire station open days are a staple number of events that we try and attend. We have some good links now with various stations from in the last couple of years when we've been, but we are trying to build up a bigger sort of catalogue of visits because we know that they will generate interest, and that's reflected in the number of hits we have on our website, but also the fact is when we go there we're able to generate income, and that's mainly in recent times because of the sale of our fire toys, thanks to the help of our one of our archivists, Malcolm Mitchell, who's a collector of toys and has kindly donated a number of them to us, which we sell, and that's generated hundreds of pounds, in fact into the thousands of pounds now, which obviously help a steady income. So for us it's about how we can improve those contacts, which we've started to do by getting in contact with the London Fire Brigade communications section, who send out details to the stations of organisations like ourselves who will attend. We've now built up quite a reasonable network, but obviously keen to attract more people to come along so that we can actually get to speak to them and ask them to come along. That also leads as a way forward to getting invitations to present talks about the vessel, about Massey Shaw and its history, because it is totally unique, and obviously once again that generates income, and also we get hopefully members and subscribers from that as well. One of the things we are trying to move forward is looking at trying to put some webinars together. It's a new departure for us. We've had, I think, one in the past which has been reasonably successful. The idea is that we have a great deal of knowledge and information that we can pass on to people, and I think we've got an opportunity to go forward and put all that together with which will open up some new opportunities for us. So as you can see, activities and events is something that we continue with throughout the year. The only difficulties we have is normally our group of people that have come out to the events has diminished recently. Unfortunately we've lost a couple of our stalwart members, and we're now looking at trying to get some more people to come along, because it is difficult when you've only got a small pool of people to attend all the invites that we're now trying to do. So we generate interest, and we need to sort of be able to move that forward. But certainly we have a sort of a strategy that it seems to be working, but it's something that obviously we can improve upon with different events that we could attend, and how we approach our market, really, what we can do. We obviously are very keen to promote also some books, and we have a book coming out, we hope, all about the history of Massey Shaw, the fireboat, called Little Ship That Saved St Paul's, which is a book that's been produced by a guy called Neil Wallington, and we're hoping that we'll be able to use that as once again another way of generating income. So basically we are moving forward, but we'd still like to obviously have new ideas and particularly people to come along and support us.
Yes, I think on that, just to summarise, I think if you're watching this and you're able to volunteer a couple of hours of time on a weekend, either at a fire station open day, or if you're part of a group or an organisation that would benefit from a talk or presentation about the boat, again, as a fundraising opportunity, then we'd really like to hear from you. You can get in touch with us through our website. We've got a contact form on there. Or you can reach out through social media as well, and get in touch that way. But yeah, we'd really like to hear from you. And if you've got any ideas for other types of information you want us to share, if you want us to do a webinar on a certain topic, again, really open to hearing those new ideas. So next, we just wanted to talk about some of the visitors that we've had to the boat.
For those who are interested in coming to support us during an open day, we've currently got 2 open days in the diary. One is on the 13th of June between noon and 4 o'clock, which is at Barking Fire Station. So they're holding an open day and I'll be leading the Massey Shaw team on that one. And perhaps a more interesting one, even though I shouldn't say that given I come from East London, is the one at Brixton, which is celebrating its 100-year anniversary as a fire station on the 25th of July this year. So that should be an extra special event. We went a couple of years ago and it was a remarkable attendance with lots of vintage fire appliances. We don't know what's going to happen this time, but it should be quite fun, and the station certainly put a lot of effort into it. So if you want to come and just visit us, look at the stand, look at what we do. As David said earlier, with the toys that have been very generously donated by Malcolm, we tend to earn to £400 to £500 a day at a fire station open day. So it's a really great fundraising event for the Massey Shaw, and it makes us more widely available to the general public. 3 of us are on the stand. So it makes it quite an interesting day. Very welcome to come and help us. We'll give you the training on how to sell the boat, sell in inverted commas, tell people how it works, and just engage with the members of the public. It's usually a very good day, although your legs know it by the end of the day. Thanks, Tom.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, as I said, I think they're very family orientated as well. Like all the fire stations, there's a lot of activities for kids and stuff as well. So it's not just sort of an adult type event. It's very much targeted at families and the local community as well. So yeah, and we'll be publishing those on the website as well in our events calendar, so that you can see other events as they come up. So do check back on those, and we'll post on Facebook as well to kind of promote them as much as we can. But again, if you know of any events coming up where you feel like it might be good for us to attend, then please do reach out. So yeah, if we move on then to talking about some of the visitors we've had to the boat recently, and also again just give you a bit of information around how you can book a visit as well. We'll talk about that at the end.
Okay, so we have a steady flow of visitors throughout the year, but obviously normally during the winter time it normally drops off a little bit because of the getting access to the boat itself. But as we enter spring now, we are getting a number of visitors. Not just from the UK. Had the pleasure, Bill and I had the pleasure of a guy came from New York on Saturday. He's actually came over with his parents, and he was running in the London Marathon. This was I think his 2nd or 3rd marathon that he would run. But his father had purchased one of the William Wood watches, the Dunkirk ones, which is the unique to obviously our boat and the history of its activities at Dunkirk. So he came along to see the boat and to pass on his best wishes. We certainly had a good time. And the week before that, we had a very busy time with us, Bill and I, and also another one of our people, our volunteers, another Bill, to look after some fire cadets. Now these from the London Fire Brigade, and they the cadets themselves came with their team to support them, and we had, I think it was 12 in all on the day, which is great. And it's an opportunity to show the cadets the boat for the first time. Some of the cadets, in fact, have been involved in the production of a replica Massey Shaw, which is about 20 feet long. It's been made as a scratch model and had taken part in last year's Lord Mayor's show. And from that, it also had an opportunity to expand our visits by being invited along to some of the fire station open days this year. And one of the great things from it was the fact that it now actually pumps water as well, so it mimics the boat in many ways. But some of the young people were actually have been involved in building it, and it's a great piece of kit. So certainly some of the open days that we'll be taking part in, we'll have an opportunity to have the replica boat there as well, and will assist with our fundraising, which we're really looking forward to. So certainly to become a visitor and to bring along people, Tom can give you an update on how that works on our website.
Yeah, and actually just on the replica model, we'll try and overlay some footage of that from the London Marathon as well and stuff, because they took that along and were cheering people on at the marathon and stuff as well. So yeah, really well done to all the fire cadets, and we're really looking forward to some of the other events that we can get along to with the replica model. But yeah, in terms of how you can book to come see the boat, we have a form on our website again that kind of just gets some basic details about you and offers you the opportunity to give us some potential dates that you can come along. In general, we have volunteers on board on a Wednesday and a Saturday, but that does vary obviously depending on what volunteers we have available. So please use the form, and if you can ideally come on a Wednesday or a Saturday, that's great. But if not, let us know some of the other dates that you can make, and we'll try and accommodate you as best we can. Normally a tour can take sort of an hour or two if you want to stay for a bit longer. And yeah, we can cover all the history of the boat, take you a tour around all the sort of engine rooms and everything. One thing to note, obviously, it wasn't necessarily built to be fully accessible, so we just need to take that into account as well. So again, there's ladders and steps and things like that to actually get onto the vessel itself. So just something to be aware of. But please do get in touch if you'd like to arrange that, and we'd happily accommodate you.
Well, I have to say, a couple of weeks ago, we had a visitor from the John J. Harvey Fireboat in New York City. Daphne, she's 72 years old, and she was very mobile around the boat. So we take it very slowly. We get people around, and she could see everything she wanted to see. And it was also, we had a long discussion about the joys of running a vintage fireboat across the Atlantic. So they have exactly the same problems we have: fundraising, getting qualified crew who can operate a vessel that's controlled by telegraphs, which is the ringing bells that you've seen on the films from the 1950s, and getting younger volunteers. As you can see, Tom's one of our youngest volunteers. David and I are more the grey-haired variety. So we're always looking for younger volunteers. It's the same across the Atlantic. And we've got an open invitation to go and attend their vessel. And at the end of the event, we swapped hats. So I now have a John J. Harvey cap, which I'm quite proud of, and Daphne has two Massey Shaw Fireboat caps. So hopefully they'll appear on the John J. Harvey website at some point in the future, and we have an open invitation to go visit her. She's more of an open ocean fireboat, so a bit bigger than the Massey Shaw, but nevertheless just the same issues from both sides of the Atlantic. So it doesn't have to be someone who's got a background in the fire service. Anyone who's interested in boats, and if you've got your own fireboat, we're very happy to welcome you on board.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually just another point on the accessibility note, we did actually get funding a few years back to install security cameras. So we have actually got cameras in all areas of the boat, so we can show people on the shore if they can't actually get on the boat, different areas of the boat like the engine rooms and things like that. So yeah, please don't feel like you can't attend, even if you can't actually get on the boat. We can still show you around and give you all the backgrounds and the history and everything else as well. So yeah, in terms of other items that we wanted to talk through, we've also been working quite a lot to look at our partnerships. So we've got a few kind of areas that we're looking to investigate further going forward, but also we are limited in some of the partnerships we can join up with, again, just due to the numbers and sort of resources that we have in terms of volunteers to look into those. So again, if you're interested in sort of building partnerships with local community groups and other, especially around Canary Wharf, but also in the wider London area, it'd be great to get you on board and help with that. We've mentioned about the fire cadets already, but Dad, I don't know if you want to talk through the Inigo Lapwood's partnership as well and some of the developments in that space.
Yes, so we've mentioned about a little bit about Inigo Lapwood, and he's one of the guys in the West India dock who's have got several. He's got two boats that are moored not far from where we are, and he has the art ship, which is involved, which only recently appeared in the dock, but it's an opportunity for some artwork and to have various displays, and also to have shows and cinema. There's a cinema a boat as well. So it's activities that can develop in the dock, which we're trying to link in with. It certainly be useful for when the boat is actually operational, because we can do some pumping nearby, and Indigo itself is involved with the National Historic Ships, well, which we are a member, and we're now looking at trying to see how we can link together with our historic ships in West India Dock and by Canary Wharf. So it's an opportunity to develop new ideas, that we can run events, we can publicise our vessel, but also we can link in with the community around West India Dock and the whole of the Isle of Dogs. So if you are involved in the Docklands area and would like to find more about us, obviously the website's a good point, a good starting point, but certainly we are looking at hopefully this summer developing some further ideas. So please look out for the adverts.
Yeah, and I think that ties nicely into then sort of how we're looking at funding. Obviously, if you're not aware already, we have quite a large project underway to completely restore and rebuild one of our engines. And we've been doing a lot of work in terms of fundraising to actually gather the resources that we need and the right contacts for various things we need built. We need custom parts being built. We need lots of things in the pipeline to get everything back up and running. So Bill, I don't know if you want to just touch on sort of some of the funding aspects that we've been working on.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Firstly, we've acquired access to a funding database, and we have volunteers who are going through the database to identify likely charities that will support vintage or heritage assets. So we don't waste our time writing to everyone. We can target the request that we have for funds. And one that was successfully achieved and led by David was the Worshipful Company of Firefighters. We have a plan to restore the engine. We have a costed plan with timetable, and we approached the Worshipful Company and asked if they were prepared to help fund or contribute towards that. The total cost at the moment is around £40,000. They were very positive, so we submitted the application. There was some discussions to make sure that we put it into the format they were happy with, and eventually donated £10,000 to us, which was a significant donation. At roughly the same time, we had anonymous, we know who the person is, they've asked to remain anonymous, another £10,000 donated to us. We also had £3,000 from the Grand Charity, a Masonic charity from north of London. So £20,000 in the first 4 months of this year. So with our own funds that we had already, we've now commissioned the work to fix the engine. So all the crankshaft is up in Bradford being rebalanced and making sure it's all in fine working order. That should come back to the boat in June, and then there will be a team effort to load it back onto the boat. We took it off the boat probably a year or so now with no injuries. We had to disassemble part of the boat because it's a very, very large and very heavy crankshaft, and we had to take it, disassemble it on a moving vessel across to another moving vessel, because we're moored next to the steam tug Portway, which is clearly moving in the dock. Even though we're tied up, the wind can move us about a bit, onto the quayside, and it was driven up to Bradford. So it's coming back soon, and then we have the joy of putting it back together again. And there's a little bit of discussion amongst colleagues about how many bolts, screws and nuts we'll have left over. Even though everything is there, we've bought the world supply of post office labels, and everything has a label on it saying where it came from and how it should go back. But what we are running a book about how many bits will be left over. So we have the funds now to start the work on the boat. What we are trying to do when the engine is disassembled is to make improvements where we see it. So not just fix the problem we had with the cylinder, which the cylinder head exploded, which caused a bit of deformation to the crankshaft. We're looking at other things to repair while the engine has been disassembled. So that's why we get to the £10,000. So we have enough to fix the engine, but we'd like a bit more to make it even better. So that's why we're still looking for fundraising. So please come to the open days, buy some toys, make a donation, just help us to get the boat backing. Our motto is preservation by operation. So it's the best thing to do is get the boat moving again, back up and down the Thames. We can show her off a bit, and we can offer you rides on the boat. So that will be a very, very good thing. So although we have funds in the bank, they're nearly all committed, so we need to top them up.
Yeah, and I think that ties in nicely as well when we think about just the general running costs of the boat as well. And for us, even just to sit still as we are now and even just be on the boat, there is a cost of things like insurance. We have to have public liability insurance and other insurance as well for the boat to even just have people on board. And that cost alone is north of £4,000 a year that we have to cover as well. So there are quite clear costs that we need to cover, even just to sort of stand still, which is really important to mention as well.
But what is very heartening is none of our volunteers claim any expenses. So they're all genuine volunteers. None of the trustees take any money out of the charity. If someone attends an open day, they pay for their own travel. If they buy spares for the boat, they tend to donate that back to the boat, so the boat gets the gift aid. So every penny that is donated to the boat goes onto the boat. None of it is taken out by the volunteers or the trustees, and that's remarkable, and we're very grateful.
Yeah, definitely. So I think just to wrap up, we didn't want to take too much time up from this sort of session in this video, but I think the sort of key things we're looking for, hopefully that we've already mentioned, is obviously we are very keen to gather new volunteers who can help support us with the various events and activities that we're underway with already and that we have booked in, but we'd love to do more. And we know that they can generate vital funds for the boat. So if you're watching this and you'd be interested in helping out, even if it's just occasionally, we would really value that support. We also do need support at a director level in terms of the charity itself and being able to operate the charity. Again, we've had various directors that have either stepped down or unfortunately have passed on. So we are very much looking for support in that area as well. There are certain skills that we'd love to bring into the board. So again, if this is something that you maybe give other charities or you're interested in joining as a board member, again, we'd really love to hear from you. Again, I don't know, Bill, Dad, if you wanted to mention anything else on that, but we're just, really keen to hear from anyone who would like to support us.
Well, certainly for those people who are interested in becoming board members, if you've got any thoughts about it and would like to discuss it further, we're more than happy to explain exactly what the process involves. It is an important role in our organisation and certainly looked upon by the Charities Commission and by various other organisations that we do carry out the role properly. And the organisation has been running now since the early 80s, and it's certainly been an opportunity for people to get engaged. And we are now looking at developing the processes that we have so that the organisation becomes stronger as we go forward, because we do need to, there are certain areas which we haven't got expertise in, and you could be that person to come along and assist us in that way. So if you have some time and you would like to find out more about it, then please get in contact with us either via our website or by our other contacts, and we'd be delighted to explain what we get up to and hopefully encourage you to come along.
I suppose the skills we particularly need at board level are marketing and fundraising. Tom's doing a sterling job, but we take a lot of his time doing the social media side. So we need the marketing side and fundraising side. And just to give a bit of personal experience, I'm an accountant by trade, and I joined to help with the Heritage Lottery Fund grant we got a few years ago. And my skills related to making tea and polishing brass. So there's work for anyone. And what has been remarkable actually is the development of skills, guiding members of the public around a fireboat and learning how to talk about that and show off the boat. It develops skills that are relevant to work. So if you want to come and I'm just a volunteer on the boat as well as the treasurer, but the treasurer is my day job. What's interesting is to go on the boat and to show members of the public around who may have been brought there by their parents and have got no interest, but you get them wet when they make a bit of pumping, or they can play with some brass on the boat. It's captivating. And a few years ago, we had a group from the Women's Institute came. We were a stepping stone on their way into London. They thought they'd stay 20 minutes and they lasted 2 hours. And they then recommended it so much we've had Women's Institutes groups come again. So the three of us here are males, but we're not male dominated. We have female curators for the museum. We're going for an accredited museum as well, so everyone's welcome. And we have a place for anyone, whatever their skill level. It's enthusiasm that's most in demand, frankly.
Hi there, and thanks very much for watching. We had a bit of a technical issue at the very end of the video, so we didn't actually get to see the outro of us saying thank you for joining and listening to us discuss all the things that are happening with Massey Shaw at the moment in terms of the events and the people that are visiting the boat, the partnerships that we're building, and the fundraising and all the restoration work that's happening in the background. Again, all done by all of our volunteers, a small group of volunteers, I should say. So this is just a quick thank you from me, but also from my fellow directors. To thank you for watching, and really appreciate you supporting the boat by watching this. But we'd really value, obviously, any more support you can give us, either as a volunteer or as a director, but also just by sharing this video. If you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube or any of our social medias, sharing it out there into the world really helps promote what we do, and hopefully it will expand our activities over this year. And we're looking to do more of these videos in the future as well. Ideally, we'd like to do one a month, depending on capacity, but we'd really like to know from you if there's any other things you'd like us to talk about or give information on each month, so that we can keep everyone updated about all the great work that's happening. So yeah, really appreciate you watching, and hopefully we'll see you again at an event soon or on the next video. So thanks very much.